Amber Davies and welcome to Call to Stage. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hi guys, welcome back to Call to Stage with me, Amber Davies. Now I always like to do a bit of an intro for my guests, and I feel like this is one of the best intros you're going to hear. Sitting next to me is 2010, the Wales Online named 5th Sexiest Woman in Wales. It's the newly Sophie Jenkins. Hi. Also known as Sophie Evans.
Yes.
What are you doing about the name?
Do you know what? I've really toed and froed about this because I just feel like I'm not nowhere near well known enough to be like, now I'm Sophie Jenkins. People are like, who the hell is that? So I'm probably going to professionally say Sophie Evans.
Sophie Evans.
To everyone else, I'm Sophie Jenkins.
And legally, are you going to be Sophie
Yeah,
Jenkins?
Jenkins, Banks, everything changed.
I love that. So you're keeping your stage name?
Yeah.
Okay. We have so much to delve into because me and Soph actually know each other very well. How do we know each other?
Well, we know each other because I lived with your sister.
Yes.
When I was in Wicked, Jade lived with me for about a year, I think.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you. And I was a massive Love Island fan. And I was like, your sister's Amber Davies. Oh my God. I was like, that's so cool. But also then when I got to know you, it was like just meeting someone that I'd known forever.
Yeah.
Because you're Welsh and we've got like a similar background. You're very close with your family and stuff. I just felt like we all got on really well.
Yeah.
And
I love that. I used to go for sleepovers and stuff.
Yeah.
It was the best.
It was.
I felt the same when Jade was like, I'm going to be living with Sophie Evans. I thought, because when I was really young when you did that like tiny TV show that like nobody really knows about, you know, and you girls were all like superstars to like.
Do you know what? It was so weird because at the time I just didn't feel as big as it was. Those shows, I don't think they'd land as well now because like social media wasn't really a thing. Yeah. So it was very much like everyone watched BBC.
But no, we're going to talk about that in a minute because that's just iconic. But pick any role you've played, pre-show ritual.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? I try not to have much of a ritual because I can be a bit superstitious.
Okay.
So all I would used to do before Wicked would be brush my teeth. I know it sounds really basic, but I'd have to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
And I'd have like really nice music playing. And I have my checklist, which was, if I remember, shoes, lip gloss, tiara, skirt, dressing gown or something like that. And that was it. I was like, that's all I'm doing. Because otherwise, if you forget it, then you get on stage and you haven't done it, you'd be like, I haven't done it.
Or I'm going to have a bad show.
Yeah, I'm not really into that stuff.
I love that.
No.
So you just, a very cool...
Yeah, because I can get in my head.
I know, I'm a bit
so
like
I have to keep it really basic.
I have to sing this note before every show.
Go on, what note?
Just one note in my first opening number.
Top C.
No, I got that in the locker. Maybe back in the day, not now. I love that. So let's talk about, you were the runner-up on the BBC talent show Over the Rainbow in 2010. Now, I think there's a generation of us who were obsessed. And like for me, you girls were like celebrities.
Yeah. I think we probably were in the musical theatre world.
Yeah.
There'll be people that would have never heard of the show Over the Rainbow and be like, sorry, completely passed me by. But I think if you were into it, you were like super, super fan. I've met people that were like, I watched it every week.
Yeah.
I was obsessed. Like I knew everyone's name, where they were from, blah, blah, blah. And it was a bit of a bubble. And I remember like walking down my little high street. I'm from the tiniest little town in Wales, Tonypandy, big up. And people would be like, oh my God, Sophie. And I was like 17. I was an absolute...
Were you only
17? I was 16 when I auditioned for it. Oh. And I turned 17 on there. And my whole life just blew up. I didn't know how to cook a meal. I don't think I'd ever done a load of washing. It was just such a big shift.
Was it like an instant life change from day dot?
Yeah, I'd say so. I remember going to the first audition, which was in the Principality Stadium, which felt amazing. It was like hundreds and hundreds of girls. There's some dressed as Dorothy. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't taken this serious enough. But I knew I was talented in terms of singing. Yeah. But I was like, I'm just going to go see how it goes. Didn't think anything of it. Had no expectations at all. Yeah. But I remember saying to my head teacher, I was like, right, I got an audition on Saturday. If I get through, I'm going to need the day off school. She's like, yeah, no problem. I said, if I get through that, I'm going to need 2 days off school. And if I get through that, I might not be coming back. And I just never went back.
You never went back?
No, I didn't do my A-levels. I literally just got pulled out of school.
Did you do GCSEs? Yeah.
Yeah, I had my GCSEs.
Okay.
I got them in whenever you get your results, like the 6 weeks holidays. Then I went back to school in September, and then I left. I think it must have been like the January.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And your life changed.
Life completely changed. I remember talking to my, because I'd never had a job and never earned any money. I remember going, girls, if I get this, I'm going to be earning like money every week.
Money.
And like good money as well, which hasn't quite been the same since.
I'm with you, girl.
Fun. Yeah. But it was a dream come true. It sounds cheesy, but like it was literally. Andrew Lloyd Webber. My mother said this hilarious thing to me. I remember because when I was 16, I'm sure all teenagers go through this. I just went through this bit of like dramatic stage, every like chip on my shoulder kind of thing. And she was like, well, Soph, Andrew Lloyd Webber's not going to come knocking on the door and like sweeping you off to London. And literally that's what happened. I was like, oh, I think he actually kind of did that.
I always remember you vividly because you were the only one with ginger hair.
I was, yeah.
I think everyone else was quite dark as well. Dark hair, brunette.
Yeah, quite a lot of brunettes. Oh, you had Bronte Barbie, who was blonde, Amy Diamond, who was blonde.
But you stood out.
I'm not naturally ginger. Do you know that? Can you not see my roots right now?
No, I thought you were naturally ginger.
I'm mousy brown. Yeah.
Was that a tactic then?
No, so my mother's a hairdresser and I just used to dye my hair being like pink, purple, all sorts of colours. I had a perm when I was like 5.
Healthy.
I know, yeah. I was like, I'm like, so social services. But I got to like 13 and I was like, I feel like being like red. So I was like proper cherry red and it would fade to like an orangey colour. And I remember thinking, oh, I quite like the orangey auburn. And it literally just stuck since I was 14.
Because that for me was why I loved you so much when I was little.
Do you know what? I absolutely love red hair. And, I would always be jealous of people with like, because you often find a lot of people who are naturally ginger have really thick, like gorgeous hair.
And skin.
Just
have the best
so
skin.
Nice. So, yeah. And it was funny because people were like mortified. Like even real redheads who meet me are like, oh, team ginge. And I'm like,
I feel a bit deceived actually.
I know. It's sad. It is sad. I wish I was natural. Like even my husband Ellis has never known me, my natural colour. It might be grey. I haven't got a clue what it is now.
I'm freaking grey.
Yeah. I think it's just you see him more in dark hair.
I know. Maybe I should go ginger.
Yeah, I think my hair is just like mousy brown.
But it's just you and red hair. Like
it's crazy.
It is you.
I can't see me ever changing it.
No.
Could
you tell me, this is a trick for your brain, I know exactly what song you sung for week 1 up to week 8. What did you sing for week 1?
Week 1 I sang If I Were a Boy.
Correct. Second one.
Week 2 I sang, oh God, I can't remember week 2 or week 2.
That don't impress me much.
Oh my God, I got ripped apart. Oh
Did
my God,
you?
yeah. I had a really hard time on there from the judges. Yeah, really bad. Week 3 was it I'm With You?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my like comeback week.
Was it your comeback? You need a story, right?
You do. I think that's the thing. They've got a plan. They know what they're doing.
Of course they do. Every television show has a plan.
They do.
You're always going to be the redhead comeback girl.
I think I would. They were like, you're the little like valley girl.
Valley girl.
Who needs to come out of her shell. And then by the end, they're like, wow, my God, you did it.
I don't want to be biased, but because we're friends. And I think all the girls on that show are talented and they've all gone on to do incredible things. But like, you were probably the most naturally gifted.
Thank you. I did love it, and I felt I was nurtured on there as well. So I got nothing but good things to say about the experience, other than
you were torn to shreds when you did. That don't impress me much.
Yeah. Week 4 was it love song?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Week 5, Wonderful World.
Yes.
Week 6. Oh, was this I Enjoy Being a Girl?
Yes. What the hell?
I know. I'm so sad. I did watch this all back in lockdown.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Week 7.
One of my favourite songs.
Oh God, this is where we started doing like duos and stuff, so it gets a bit confusing.
Think Disney.
Oh, Reflection. Yeah, and then week 8 Tomorrow. Yeah.
And you were runner-up. I always think there's something special about runners-up.
Do you? Yeah, but you won though. There's something special about
I know, but I think winning a show about love is a bit different than a talent show.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Do you know what? I always say this, come and say, if I had won, I was 17. And I tell this story because it was massive at the time. Like Graham Norton was the host. It was like BBC One prime time. And I remember the final, and me and Danielle Hope, who won it, deservedly, absolutely. We were stood at the top of these like big windy stairs, and they played the music. They were going to announce the winner. We had to walk down these steps. And I remember looking over to my family thinking, I honestly don't want to win. I want to come home with you. I've had a really lovely time and it's been amazing, but I really want to go home, which is ironic. Being Dorothy. I was there like, I don't think I'm ready for this. How can I do 8 shows a week? I literally just left school. When they called out Danielle's name, I was if you watch the video, I'm literally like, I'm so happy for you because you deserve it and you're ready.
How old was she?
She was only a year older than me. She was 18. Okay. But she just felt like she'd lived a life. And we were quite different.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, really different. So then when the opportunity came around to be alternate, I was like, that is so much better for me. Like I can dip my toe in, learn from the best. But
you did after you went to Arts Ed for a year, didn't you?
3 months. So I did September to Christmas and then we started rehearsal. Yeah, just do 3 months. That's all I need.
And that was funded by?
Andrew, literally. Andrew Lloyd Webber paid for me to go to drama school.
But he was like, she can only do 3 months.
Yeah.
She only needs 3 months.
She only needs, I tell you all though, like you would be so different to me. Like you and Jade probably danced so much when you were growing up. I had not stood in a dance class until I was 17. So into a ballet, like an Arts Ed is known for like really good dancers. And I got 2 left feet, 2 left arms.
No, you don't.
I remember my ballet teacher saying, you're not built for ballet. I said, no shit. Shirley. Her name was Shirley. I was like, I know, I had these big boobs, like they've shrunk now, breastfeeding. But I had these massive boobs. I'm a long, like a giraffe. And she was like, you're just not built for it. I was like, I know.
Oh my God. I'm literally pissing. I love that though. You're just like, I have my voice.
Yeah. And I love to act, but dancing is not really for me.
No.
Unless I'm in revs or something.
Yeah. Unless we're in the club. So then you went on to be Dorothy alternate. Like you said, you feel like that was better for you.
100%. Yeah, I was a kid. I was literally, I didn't know how to do anything. So I took so much like love from being in the theatre and as alternate. I didn't always have to be in the building. I can't remember exactly what it was, but some days I would be there and some days I wouldn't. So I would be in the wiggies room and I'd like set a wig or I'd be with the sound guys and I'd be like, just want to see what you do. So I learned so much about the whole
craft
thing. Yeah. So, and I just honestly, I loved it. I had such a lovely relationship with every department and I learned from legends. I had Michael Crawford, who, you know, is Frank Spencer as the wizard, coming into my dressing room, giving me notes and it's just nuts. Looking back, really, really bonkers.
And did you commute from Wales for those few days or did you live in London?
I did live in London, but again, I've never told this story. I'm going to tell you a really funny story.
Okay.
Which would have got me in so much trouble. So I was, you know, like as an understudy, there's a cut-off point. I think a matinee was, if you don't know, you're here by 11, like you're not on, or and maybe different with alternates, but there was a certain time. So I used to be like, that's plenty of time to get back to London if I do go home, because I was such a home girl. I had like a young boyfriend and stuff. And there was this one day I was like, fine, I can go home. I'm not called in. So I was at home in Wales. I shouldn't have been. I was on a driving lesson. I was having like driving lessons in the valleys. I get home from my driving lesson. I've got like a million missed calls off my mother. My company managers tried to ring me. I was like, oh my God. I was like, hello, ma'am, what's going on? She's like, Soph, they've been trying to get in touch with you. Like, you're on today. It was a matinee day as well. I had 2 shows. I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to pretend. I was like, I'd left my phone in the house. I'd gone shopping in London. This is so bad. Shopping in London. I'll ring them and say, I'm so sorry. I left my phone in the house. Yeah. I thought the cutoff time had gone. It was like a last minute call in.
Okay. Because really you're on call at all times, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
For an alternate.
You are. But you don't have to be in the building. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't make the matinee, but I'll be there for the evening. So I literally hired like a private car. I was like, I got to get to London like now for the evening show. So I got home from my driving lesson, got in a car, got to London, did the evening show and was like, guys, I went shopping today and just left my phone in the house.
Oh, so my heart.
Honestly, my head was pumping like with blood. I was like, my adrenaline was through the roof.
Oh my gosh. And did you get told off or not?
No. Well, I mean, they were like, you really need to keep your phone on you all. I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I really do.
Lesson learned.
So much lesson learned. My mother was like, so let's never, ever be in that situation again.
But you know what? I think mistakes are there to be made.
Yeah.
You know, you've never, did you ever do that again?
Oh my God. No.
No,
never.
Yes.
No, I never ever did that again.
I love that. And then there's so much things I want to talk to you about. A lot of them is personal things because Soph's recently got married.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to talk about that quickly because I know you've got a funny story for me.
Yeah, I do.
So you married Ellis Jenkins, who is a rugby player.
Yes, yeah.
Firstly, I just want to ask you, being with a rugby player who actually has no idea about our industry, was that hard to navigate at the start?
Yeah, it was. We've got a lovely, I honestly think our love story could be a film. Because we've got such a nice story. We got together when we were so young, 18. He was like up and coming, earning like £0 a week. And I was like living in London, this glamorous life, you know, really fast paced. And then we fell in love. Bri was here, he was there. So we had a long distance relationship for years and years. And then I moved home, bought a house together. And then my work started picking up again. I was like, I did a tour with Lord of the Dance. And I was in America for a while, which was unbelievable. And he like surprised me out there. It was like really lush. And then it got to a point where I think he was like, this life is actually quite hard. I don't see you ever. And I'm in this, we had bought this like 4-bedroom house at 23, stupid really. And he was like, I'm just here in the house on my own and I'm just really not happy. So we broke up for like 18 months.
I remember that.
We met. This is when we met. I wasn't with him.
Because you were heartbroken.
I was so heartbroken. I was like, he's the one. I can't stop thinking about him. And, you know, it's so hard. And then when I was in Wicked, I was like still completely in love with him and I thought I got nothing to lose. Went on this holiday with the girls and I got back and I was like, I'm still totally in love with him. I got nothing to lose. I'm going to send him a text. Did. I know it's been bliss ever since.
I know.
So
it was like you knew he was the one.
I did. And it sounds so like cliche, but I did. I was like, I've dated. I'm really trying to move on. Not like in a weird way, but I was like, I just can't even get close to what we had. And at the time when we split up, I was like, you're making such a big mistake, but also I appreciate and respect how you feel. And I don't want to force you to be in a relationship you're not happy in. So it was horrific. Like I can't, if you've experienced heartbreak, it is horrendous.
It's consuming.
I couldn't, I'd wake up and a tear would fall down my face. As soon as I woke up, it was awful.
And look at you now married with a child.
I know.
So you got married in Ibiza.
Yes.
It was amazing. I loved your bridesmaid colours.
Oh, and they're so pretty.
They were fabulous. You looked sensational, so natural, you know, all of that. However, I saw on your Instagram.
I'm so dopey, honest to God.
What happened the evening of your wedding?
So we're not very, we were legally married 2 years ago. So we weren't very traditional on the day of the wedding because we are legally married. We've got a kid. I was like, we're not going to be getting ready in separate places. I don't want him to see me as the bride, but I was like, you get ready in one half of the villa. We'll get ready in the other half. It was a big villa. So they all go off to the venue. Me and the bridesmaids are left getting ready doing like TikToks and whatever. And I was like, right, I'll lock the door. I've got the key. I'll lock the door. Just didn't say to anyone I've got the key. I don't know why. I just locked the door. What I should have done is left it in a plant pot or something. Yeah. Brides should never be in charge of the key. Okay. Your wedding, right? Okay. Tip if you get married. Someone else needs the key. I'm having a great time at the wedding, getting married, whatever. And when we got to the venue, the wedding planner was like, right, all bridesmaids and bride, put all your bags in this big bag. And if you need it, you can come back to this. So I'm not carrying like 10 bags. I was like, great idea. Halfway through the day, I go to get my phone out just to like have a look, whatever. And I must have left my bag up on a table. So one of her workers has seen my bag, because it was obviously the bride's bag. It was like all beaded and white or whatever. And she threw it in a different big cream bag that she thought was the wedding planner's. Oh, God. So little did I know, gets the end of the night, and I remember thinking, I can't find my bag. And the wedding planner went, if someone's got it, it's on the bus. We've done a look around. There's nothing left at the venue. Okay. You've got everything on the bus. And I was like, great. Jack's awake. It's like 2:45. He's like raving on the bus. I was like, this has been the best day of my life. Other than Jack being born, I was like, this is incredible. And then we get to the villa and everyone's like, right, who's got the key? And I was like, I got the key in my bag. I was like, scouring through this bag. I was like, oh my God, I haven't got my bag. This is the big bag, but I haven't got my bag. It's not in here. And they're like, you're lying. Let me look. So everyone's looking. I was like, no, genuine, I haven't got it. Jack's crying and we got a little boy with us in the beating heat. I was like, oh my God. Luckily, the villa was split in two and we had moved Jack's cot earlier on in the day to the other part of the villa.
Thank God.
Ellis would have divorced me there and then if like Jack had stayed outside with us, or we would have had to broke in or something. So Ellis goes and sought Jack out. He's like cursing my name, like everything under the sun. And so there was 8 of us in the other villa and they were looking at me like, this is mental. But we had lovely day beds. So I'm like, guys, I think I'm texting the group chat with all the guests and like, haha, really bad news. I've lost the keys. Does anybody have them? We're stranded outside the villa. Can't get hold of the concierge. Can't get hold of the villa owners. We are stuck outside. and no one replies because everyone's asleep. And I'm there just like, oh my God. I'm in my dress, my veil is still on my head. And then we just submitted to sleeping on the day beds. I put a little towel over me and Alice. There was like me, Alice, another couple on one day bed, and then another couple on another day bed. And I was just there like, this is bonkers, actually bonkers. And now I look back and think it's actually iconic.
It's iconic. You slept on a day bed in your dress.
Yeah. I know, literally. Woke up.
Only you.
I know, literally only me. And it is a funny story to tell, but at the time I did feel really bad.
Yeah,
I did feel so bad.
Yeah. Did you have a good sleep though?
I had about 2 hours, I think.
Oh, so
yeah. 9 o'clock, I get a text then from one of my friends being like, I've got your bag. I was like, Alice, we had a higher car. I was like, we gotta go get it because I feel so, the sun was like coming
Rising.
up now. Everyone had been bitten to hell and back. I was like, oh, great.
I love that so much. Right, moving on back to your career. There's so many things I want to talk about. One of them is Glinda.
Yeah.
The second one is being a new mama. And then the last one is your podcast.
Yeah.
And I've got 10 minutes left. I mean, it's so easy to like sit here and chat to Soph.
I know, yeah.
2017, Glinda, Wicked, dream come true.
Unbelievable. Again, I wasn't with Alice at this time, so I was going through a bit of a like finding myself era. I was auditioning for a couple of shows, wasn't really getting anything, and Glinda and Wicked is my just absolute ultimate show in the world. So when the audition came through, I was like, can't even believe I'm in the room, and then got through the 4 rounds, had the phone call off my agent, you've got the part. It was just, my head exploded.
four rounds.
That's 4 rounds. Yeah, I did 4 rounds. First round, own material. Second round, a bit of Glinda. Third round, more Glinda. Fourth round, film it for the Americans.
And you got it. I mean, you were perfect for it. I saw you in the role.
I honestly loved every minute. It was just a dream come true. And my cast, like I had Alice Fern as Alpha my first year. Then I had Laura Pick. I was just in amongst absolute superstars. Yeah.
Is Glinda like a big role?
Oh, it is so tiring. Vocally, I could probably sing it 3 times a day. It's not, once it's in there, because it's such a nice, safe sing, like my soprano luckily is just naturally there. There's only that really like big belty bit and couldn't be happier. The singing was fine, but the energy that you have to keep up, like Popular every day would floor me. Like it'd be a Wednesday matinee and I'd finish Popular thinking, I gotta do this again later. Oh my God. Because you want to give the audience the same experience. You don't want to cheat them. But I think you do have to get to a point where you can only do like 70%, and 70% is enough. You can't be 100% every day. It's impossible.
I feel like when you think about Wicked, you think, oh my God, Elphaba's such a big sing, and like people focus on, but I just think Glinda is a different type of energy.
It is.
You know?
Yeah. Like Elphaba, could I sing that every day? Probably be in A&E because it's massive.
You could.
I don't know. Maybe once. Well, I'd do a concert version.
Yeah.
But I used to think as Elphaba, if you're feeling shit and down, you can kind of play into that. You could be like,
yeah, true.
You can mope a bit. The vocals can't argue. You've got to be bloody on it.
Yeah.
But with Glinda, if I was feeling like really low or tired, I was Pro Plus in, I was like Lucozades, double espressos, and I don't even take caffeine. Like I'm caffeine free now. So at the time it was like just anything to give me energy.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to touch base on Welsh of the West End.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just so special.
It is so special.
It's a group put together by Stefan Hughes, and it's all the unbelievable talent from Wales who have been in the West End. They come together. You guys were a semi-finalist on Britain's Got Talent, which I was there for. Like, how special is that just to share the stage with so many? Because I feel like the Welsh stick together, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And, you know, there's so many of us. Like, you've done a Welsh the West End video as well. That was a nice one.
Yeah.
It was really lush to be all together. And I was pregnant at the time, so that felt really special. I remember surprising the gang, being like, there'll be 11 of us on stage.
Yeah.
So cute. And it was a really fun experience. And I remember the first audition, everyone was like really nervous. And I said, guys, we are professional singers. Yeah. Don't worry. Like, we know we can sing. They might not like us, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we can bloody sing.
Yeah.
So let's just go and have a good time. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And in the semi-final, I was there because Jade's also in the group. And they were up against a child, and I just turned to my mum and I said, yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah, no.
You can't compete with children or dogs.
Cute. No, you can't. He was super cute. And I actually was like, I support your message. He was talking about like global warming.
Global warming,
like,
he was.
Yeah, he's no future.
I just thought children or dogs, you were out.
Yeah.
Although the talent was unbelievable, and the songs you were singing were just, go and listen to it on YouTube, like unbelievable. Stefan's so talented.
I know, he
creating
is. He's so talented, and it's so nice that he got us all together in lockdown, and it just became something that it was never intended to be, really.
No.
And it was
a lockdown thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, lockdown YouTube videos, and People love it. I get recognised in Cardiff now for that. People
you?
My daughter loves those Welsh the West End videos. You're one of the, because we like little squares.
Yeah.
You're one of the little
squares. You're one of the squares.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
And then I would love to talk about being a mum.
Yeah.
You have a gorgeous little boy called Jack.
I do have a Jack, and he is the, well, apple of my eye completely. Would drop everything in my life. I would never sing again to have him, because I've been broody since I was about 21. And I remember having like really intense conversations with Ellis when we were younger, and he was like, I'm just not ready. And I was like, well, I need to find someone else then, because I want to be a mother. And trust the timing in your life.
Yeah.
Because if we had had a baby then, who knows what would have happened. Whereas we were both ready. He switched dad mode on like so easily, and he's a phenomenal father. And Jack is just a firecracker. He's obviously you're biased for your own kids.
Yeah.
But there's something about him, like he is a special kid. He's really forward with his speech. He can go up the pitches. If I'm singing, he'll follow what I'm singing.
Really?
He's like amazing with a bowl. I'm like, oh, you're just gonna be one of those kids.
He's good at everything.
Yeah.
And was there ever a moment in your mind where you thought, I'm gonna be putting my career on hold?
Yes and no. It's a tricky one, because I love the industry for some parts of it, and there's other parts that I can't get on board with. So I don't think it's a very family-friendly industry, and I understand how it can probably never be. But I didn't think I was giving it up. I just want to put it on pause.
Yeah.
I do think a little bit it's hard to remain relevant, though. I think, like, you often have a baby and people go, oh, she's often having a baby. Like, we won't ask her to do stuff. So that is hard. But also, like, I try and make my own things.
Yeah.
I don't wait for someone to knock on my door.
You are a woman of create your own destiny.
Yeah, definitely.
You've always been like that.
Yeah, but if someone said to me, you're never going to perform again, but you've got a family, then I would pick that a million times over. Yeah.
I think that's when you know you're ready.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm definitely not there.
Yeah, 100%. And there were times in my life where I was like, this, I'm in the middle of being in Wicked or whatever, and I wouldn't have wanted to go off and have a baby. And I don't even think, like, when people go off on maternity and then come back and their baby's like 9 months old, I genuinely, hats off to you, because I don't know how you do it. I do not know how I would have got up, looked after Jack all day, then gone and done a show. I know Ellis would be there, or you'd have like help, but bloody hell, it's different.
Tough.
It's so hard.
Tough. And I also want to ask you, if you might have not even spoke about this, so you can just say I'm not ready to answer that. But if you were to book a gig in London, another one, how would that work with Jack?
We've spoke about it. So Ellis retired from rugby in the summer, in the end of the spring. And if the right thing was to come up, we would all move here. Just for the contract. It would very much be a contractual move. I don't see me bringing up my family in London. But say, for example, like, I'd love to do Waitress. If it ever came back, I'd be like, I want to go for it. We'll go for a year, see how we work out, and probably come back. Yeah. And even a tour, like, he's like, if you were to get a tour that you get paid decently enough that I can work here and there, I'll come with you on tour. So we have spoke about it. Okay. But I don't know, I don't feel ready to leave. I know he's like 19 months, but I don't feel quite there. But if the absolute right thing came around, we'd make it work.
I just think you're at the part in your career where you can wait for the right role. Yeah,
I think so.
And make it work.
Definitely. There are shows I'd love to do, like Miss Honey and Matilda. There's a part of me that would love to do Fontaine and Les Mis. I've got to the finals a few times, but it's just never quite worked. I don't know if I'm exactly what they're after, or I haven't been in the past yet. But, there are parts that I'm like, I would love to have a go. I would like to have a go of it. But if I think because I've done Wicked, which was my ultimate, I feel like anything else would be a bonus. Whereas if I had never been in Wicked, I think I would still be like pining for it. Yeah. So
it's nice though that you're kind of living in peace.
I am living in peace. I am.
In a nice love peace. Yeah. And then finally, I just want to mention, because this has also been like a catch up for us.
I know, literally.
You have your own podcast.
I do.
Come on, let's tell them about it. So, Two Sophies podcast. It's called Two Sophies podcast.
It's called the Two Sophies Baby Mamas.
Baby Mamas with your friend Sophie Harris. Yes. And it's talking about being a new mum.
Yeah. So it's really fun. We literally just talk all the nitty gritty, like piles and breast leaking, breastfeeding boobies and things that maybe not everyone wants to talk about, but
Very niche.
very niche. But it's had a really good response. But I don't have this setup at the moment. We're doing it off our own backs, and it's very rustic.
Yeah.
And the sound is very touch and go.
Okay.
But people are like, oh, I love it. I'm on my walk with my dog, and you know that happened to me, and it's really nice. We've created a bit of a community of mothers and some fathers and parents alike. So that's really nice. We're having a little break. We did 20 episodes, and now we're having like a 2-month break because Sophie's about to pop.
Okay.
The other Sophie. So that's really exciting. So we're going to come back with her birth story, like a bam.
Wow,
episode.
season 2.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with humble beginnings, by the way.
I know. But if anyone wants to sponsor us. Because I can't edit any more podcasts. It's too hard.
Where can our listeners who are new mums or about to be new mums listen to your podcast?
You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's on Google Podcasts, I think.
And YouTube?
And, well, no, we don't do YouTube yet because I don't have one of those nice fancy cameras.
Well, this isn't mine either. This is
Well,
Universal's.
maybe I should invest in one of those. But honestly, it's such a nice listen. It's like half an hour to 45 minutes an episode.
Nice.
You know, it's not too intense. But we do, like we had Ellis and her partner Charlie on once, and like we had their perspective of all the things that we've spoke about, and it's funny how different it was, and like they were saying how emotional they were when the boys were born, and that episode did really well, so I think we need to get them back on.
Yeah, get them back on. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This is
You're
so
a dream. So everyone, thank you for listening. This is Amber Davies and the 2010 Wales Online 5th Sexiest Woman in Wales.
I don't want to say, but I actually did get a 3rd one year.
Did you get to 3rd?
Yeah, that's quite embarrassing. I was like 5th. I think I got a 3rd one year.
Oh.
I actually think I got 2nd behind Eve Miles one year. I'm going to have to look. I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay, the 2nd sexiest woman in Wales.
It's gone downhill since then.
Sophie Evans. Thanks for listening.